Hi everyone, another video on the Ford Territory. So the job I wanted to do was I wanted to repaint this rear garnish because I've got a lot of fade here. So I've never taken one of these off before, so first time. So I'm going to let you know what to do and what not to do, okay? So under here you're going to have this panel here. It basically covers up your wiper motor, and I've got it round the right way. So you've got 4 screws in there. You want to take those 4 screws out. You've got these end panels which go on, they go on here somewhere. So you want to take out all the screws in there. So there's 4 screws in each one. You don't need to touch the wiper motor. This is or the door catch. This is one of the mistakes I made, but a lot of it's you're doing it blind because you can't see behind the panel, so you're not sure what's holding it in place. But you don't need to touch your catch, and you don't need to touch your wiper motor bracket. So what you'll probably find is that it'll be loose on the corner, and what you want to do is you want to slowly work it along without pulling it out too far. Just work it in each side, because what you've got is this this body sealer holding the panel to the glass. So I know I've seen sometimes they use a piece of fishing line. They'll put a piece of fishing line in there and they'll run it behind the adhesive and pull all the adhesive off in one go. With mine, because my Territory's 20 years old now, a lot of it's hard and perished, so in places, as you can see, it's dirty. It was never stuck on. Here you've got a nice clean piece, so that was obviously adhering to the back of that panel. So just be very gentle and just work it along. We'll use the fishing line technique and try and pull the fishing line along and cut that off, and it will eventually come off. You shouldn't break any clips. Now I didn't break any clips, and I sort of was doing this blindly for the first time, so yeah, everything's intact. Another thing you might want to do when you're doing this panel, and I just sort of discovered this when I thought I needed to remove the motor, because I thought maybe these 2 bolts somewhere were hidden behind the bracket and were part of that, but they're obviously not. When you peel back the rubber here on your wiper motor, there'll be a ton of rust in there. They haven't used stainless steel or galvanized bolt nut in here, and it's just full of rust. So you might just want to give that a clean out, because eventually it's going to start trickling down your tailgate and you'll get a rust stain there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a sharp blade, and I'm just going to cut all this off and give the back end a clean up. Okay, as you can see, I've given this a bit of a clean up. Use the knife to scrape it down. It's not too bad now. Okay, what I would suggest is just keep a piece of the old adhesive, so when you go to put the adhesive on the back of your panel to reinstall it, you'll have an idea of how thick you need it to be. Okay, I've got the garnish panel washed down both sides, and you know, probably the right way to repaint this is to take the badge off and this chrome garnish as well. Now I know how I put that on, and I'm not going to risk trying to take it off, because chances are I'll break it, and trying to find a chrome one these days is like trying to find hen's teeth. So I'm just going to mask this up. I will go through, or we'll go around the actual seam here with I'll grab an old toothbrush and I'll really scrub that out well, and I'll mask that up. I'll do the same with the badge. Now the badge will be glued on, but it's also got a little pin there, so you would probably need to try and just maybe, I don't know, push it out, or maybe just drill it out a little to help in trying to pull the whole lot out. Also, with your paint, if you catch it early enough on, just when the clear's starting to lift, if you just rub the clear back, you should be able to re-clear it. But if you do what I did and you leave it and the paint starts to deteriorate, then you're going to have to sand the whole lot back. So yeah, get onto it as quick as you can. Okay, I've got it all masked up. I don't intend painting this bottom lip here because it's still really good, really smooth, high gloss. So we're just concentrating on the top part of it. I suggest also taping it up before you start sanding, because if you've got the chrome garnish here, or even the badge, you don't want to accidentally sort of rip the sandpaper across the badge or the garnish, because then you'll have scratch marks in it. So if you tape it up, you'll protect it. Okay, another thing you want to do before you start sanding is just find something to put under the middle of it, whether you roll up a few rags or you get an ice cream container like I've done. It'll just help support the panel, so if you happen to push down on it, it's not going to snap through the center. I'm just using some 320 wet and dry. That should be adequate for what I need. Okay, trying to get auto paint in an aerosol can these days is almost impossible, because most of the auto stores have stopped stocking it. So I went up to my local auto paint supplier, and I got this mixed up. So all I did was take up the paint code, and he matched it. It's $35 a can. Yes, it's expensive, but the only other option you've got is to order a 1 litre, and then you've got to run it through a spray gun. So it was well worth it. I ended up getting 2 other colours whilst I was up there. I ended up getting some copper bronze metallic for my one of my other cars, and I also ended up getting a can of Prism, which is the colour, the grey colour on the side steps of a Ford Territory. So it wasn't listed, but I was very lucky. It happens that when I was up there, that a guy, an ex-Ford employee, happened to walk in, and he knew the colour straight off the top of his head. So yeah, if you're after the grey colour for your side steps, it's called Prism. And obviously for my car, it's Lightning Strike. Okay, after you've finished sanding, one thing you want to do is you want to take it into your garage and just use your compressor and your air gun. Just blow out all the water from behind the trims, because you'll be surprised how much water's sitting in behind there. Okay, I've given it a bit of a wipe down with some thinners and re-taped everything. So I'm going to give it a squirt of paint now. Okay, first coat's on. Okay, the panel's finished. So all the top coat's on. Just glue in the corner here. There's a little like a little wiper strip here. It's a bit bent out, so I'm just gluing it in place so it won't be a problem for me when I reinstall it. Also, what you want to do is wipe down the back window with some wax and grease remover, just along the area where the garnish goes, just so you get good adhesion. Okay, I've just dropped some adhesive on here because you can't really come past here because those triangular corner pieces screw into here, so you need to make sure that it's sort of clean around that area. There, as I was saying, here in the center, another one here, and again on these corners. Okay, you can see here where I put it on the corners that this is a good spot. You're sort of right on the edge of the glass and you're sort of holding that down. Same here, just on the corners. It's never too late to, if you find you need more, it's never too late to lift it up. So now I'm going to start putting all the screws back in and tighten it down. There's really only 2 screws that you've got to put in that holds this main panel on. This is this one here. It'll be hiding up behind your loom there, so yeah, you'll have to sort of pull your loom just out a fraction, and you've got the other one here. Now that's pretty much holding the panel to the tailgate. The other panels I have here basically then sandwich the glass between the 2 plastic pieces. Okay, the panel's back on the car. Haven't polished it yet, but yeah, it should come up alright. It's a lot better than it was. So this was the side where it was all peeled along here. You've really got nothing to lose by having a go at it yourself. If it doesn't turn out the way you want it, you can always take it into a panel shop and get them to paint it up. You can still drive your car whilst they're doing it, so yeah, give it a shot.